Morning, everyone. We are working on Christian mental health, and this is the third class for bipolar disorder. Um, I believe you heard the bipolar disorder, on movies, on books, especially. There are some tricky um, movies which have the bipolar disorders in there. Mainly, the main characters have bipolar disorders, and they try to uh, just seduce and just make fun of their lawyers usually. So they pretend that they have bipolar disorders and other disorders, but for reducing their penalties or just asking for not guilty. And well, but anyway, the bipolar disorders is not only limited to those kind of movies, but we just saw so many episodes regarding the bipolar disorders, and actually we have some people who have bipolar disorders near us, so around us. So bipolar disorders is kind of interesting thing. So hard to find the which is real or not, and sometimes it is understandable, but sometimes are not. So bipolar disorders is kind of tricky and hard to understand though. Well, actually, that is kind of semi-popular mental disorder, so we want to just work on it. Bipolar disorder, which means polar, there are two polars, extreme polars, and that's kind of high and this is low. We want to just talk about that a little bit more later on, and then that bipolar disorder has two phases. Okay. Bipolar disorder, previously known as maniac depression, that must be maniac and depression. Okay. Is a mental health condition. It involves cycles of extreme low and high mood. Okay, it's extreme high and low mood. A person with bipolar disorder may cycle between feeling euphoric and extremely energetic. That's maniac. That's maniac. And feeling very low, depression. The cycle of maniac and depression symptoms is different for everyone. So it is maniac and it is depression, but depends on situations and people. They can express and show in some different ways. So we cannot say this is all same maniac type of maniacs and depressions. We can't say the cycle of maniac and depressive symptoms is different for everyone. For some people, episodes can last for 3 to 6 months, which is very long, and occur every few years. Others may experience shorter but more frequent episodes over the course of 1 year. A treatment with medication may stop the symptoms or make them shorter or less intense. Well, as I said, it can last kind of a year. The mania can last for many years, and depression lasts for many years too. Okay, but at the same time, for some people it can be shorter. Okay, depends on people. The exact cause of bipolar disorder is unknown, sadly. Contributing factors may include brain chemicals, environmental factors, people, the sceneries or situations or conditions, physical illness and stress. Research suggests that around 80% of the causes are genetic. 80%. This is a lot, 80% is genetic. Genetic is what? Parents or father or mother has that many depression, which is bipolar depression, and then kids have more chance to have bipolar depression. That's kind of pretty high percentage of it, right? Pretty high rate. That's quite sad, but if that is a real, gene problem, or because they have, bipolar parents, they just learned it from the baby, or when they were in their mother's womb or something else. So it is hard to say only genetic, and genetic must be 80%. It's pretty hard, but research suggests that 80%. The symptoms of bipolar disorder generally begin in early adulthood. Like late teenagers or early 20s. So for most people, the disorder is a lifelong diagnosis. Pretty sad. Can you imagine that you feel mania for a couple of years and depression for a couple of years, and then it's repeating up and down, and you know it. Okay, you know it, but you don't know how to make it right or something. Okay, but what about the people around you? If you have a bipolar disorder, and their families, their friends, and their co-workers, they're gonna have troubles with those people who have a bipolar disorders, because it is hard to understand. They were good. They were energetic for the last couple of years, but now those people are depressed, so they don't want to work hard, or they don't want to just make productive things, and they want to be isolated or something like that. So basically, when people have a bipolar disorders, their social relationships can be corrupted, because it's hard to make a good relationship with bipolar people, because they are going up and down. But with appropriate treatment and support, bipolar disorder symptoms can be well managed. This is a good sign. People with bipolar disorder can maintain a good quality of life too. So we want to understand what the bipolar disorder is, and at the same time we want to just understand how to solve that problem, how to treat that mental health problem, bipolar disorder. So people can get a better life, and they can have better social relationships eventually, because that is manageable by certain certain treatment. Okay, but it is easy. I don't think it can be easy, but it is manageable. So just let's work on it. It is estimated that approximately 1.3% of Australians, because that is based on that this research is based on Australian people, and they have good research. So I got just have lots of things from the Australian government for this material. And 1.3% of Australians live with a form of bipolar disorder, and I think that can be almost similar to Americans. And 1 in 50 adult Australians experience bipolar disorder each year. Okay, 1.3% of Australians are. Let me just find how many percentage of Americans have bipolar disorders, but I guess it's gonna be close to this. Types of bipolar disorder. There are certain types of bipolar disorders, so we want to just work on. It is not just mania and depression. It's not that simple, but there are some types. Bipolar 1 disorder. People with bipolar 1 disorder typically experience these. One or more maniac episodes. Okay, one or more maniac episodes lasting at least 1 week. Okay, maniac means they don't sleep well, they don't sleep much, and they got hyper. So they are extremely energetic, and they are very kind of enthusiastic, looks like it, and they think they can do many things. So it's gonna be extreme highs. And depressive episodes, extreme depressive episodes at the same time. So many and depressed, so they don't do anything, just sleeping a lot, or refuse to eat food. Okay, psychotic episodes. So because it is too extreme, we can see they can have psychotic episodes too. And with bipolar 1 disorder, episodes of mania are severe enough to interfere with day-to-day life. It is too high. So we cannot expect that they have a normal life, just a regular life, what other people do. Okay. Well, that is what we can expect from those people. When they are pretty high, how can they focus on one thing, or their daily lives for doing this and that? It is kind of hard for them to drive, or they can they're gonna have some problems with relating with others too. Bipolar 2 disorder. People with bipolar 2 disorder typically experience both hypomanic and depressive episodes. The bipolar 1 disorder has one or the other, but the bipolar 2 disorder has a mixed one. Okay, a person with a hypomania will experience similar symptoms to someone with mania, but less intensely. Okay, hypomania must be a little bit lower than the extreme high, hypomania associated with bipolar 2 lasts only a few hours or days. It's very short. It's not 1 year or 6 months or 2 years. Rather than weeks of mania as with bipolar 1. Okay, bipolar 1 usually have, weeks of mania, but hypomania lasts only few hours or days. Okay, then we can say which is bipolar 1 and bipolar 2. Although bipolar 2 disorder has less severe symptoms than bipolar 1 disorder, it can be chronic, which means ongoing. Okay, so which means lasts longer. Depressive symptoms associated with bipolar 2 disorder are often more frequent and longer lasting. Same thing. Hypomania, the bipolar 1, kind of extreme. It happens one by one, okay? And, but the bipolar 2 has hypomania and less extreme depression, but it lasts longer. But it happens shorter time than bipolar 1, but it is chronic. It is ongoing. Okay. So that is the difference between bipolar 1 and 2. Cyclothymic disorder. Cyclothymic disorder is characterized by persistent and unpredictable changes in mood. So it is persistent and unpredictable. So that is a cyclothymic disorder. The highs and lows are much less extreme than for bipolar 1 and 2. Maybe, let's say, bipolar 1, bipolar 2, and cyclothymic disorder. Okay, somewhat less. The highs and lows are somewhat less, and the episodes are shorter. That means bipolar 1 lasts the mania and depression lasts longer than bipolar 2, which means bipolar 2 has a few days and few hours. But the cyclothymic disorder has shorter than bipolar 2. Okay, those are things we can see the difference between among bipolar 1, 2, and the cyclothymic disorder. And mixed episodes. Some people experience mixed episodes where they can feel some of the signs and symptoms of both depression and mania or hypomania. Okay, so those can be mixed. So because those are mixed. Sometimes it's kind of confusing to see clearly which is which and what's going on. It's kind of confusing, but we can understand that those can be mixed. Bipolar disorder, mania. So we want to just work on mania first. Common symptoms of mania associated with bipolar disorder include feeling extremely euphoric or energetic. So it's not normal people. Normal people can go, high and they can be energetic, but those people who have energetic, they are staying high here. We can just energetic for a couple of hours during the days, usually in the morning or after the, usually in the morning after the donut and coffee, especially. But we are not staying extremely energetic for whole day or days or weeks. Okay, so that those are different. Going without sleep, cause they are high, they are mania. They are maniac situation condition right now. So who's gonna die? Who can sleep? If you wanna, sleep well, you don't wanna just watch action movies or something excited. Then your brain gonna spin fast. Your heart rates are going high, so you cannot sleep well. It's the same thing, cause those people are mania. Its condition is pretty extreme, so they cannot sleep. They don't feel asleep, They don't want to just go to bed, cause they are high enough. Thinking and speaking quickly, cause their brain is spinning very fast, and their heart beats are pretty high, so they can just and they are pretty high. When people got first, like gold medal, the Olympic is starting in few weeks. That's crazy. So it's Japan and IOC, those people just are opening the Tokyo Olympics, postponed 1 year, but finally they are trying to open the Olympics, and I think that is killing people more. So Japan is killing people with Fukushima nuclear plant failures, and at the same time because of with the COVID, especially there are some variants, and I don't know. I think that they are so stupid and they are so selfish. They want to just let people, let the world know that they are safe from nuclear failures, which is force, and that is a big lie. But they want to just pretend that they are okay. So they said they're gonna feed some food from Fukushima area, which is killing, feeding poisons to the athletics. That's not acceptable, If I got, gold medal guarantee for the Olympics, I wouldn't go there. It's killing myself. And how countries, countries can send their athletics to the killing field. I understand the American government too. We have to save our athletics. We have to save our sportsmen and women. We don't want to just let our young athletics to die in the Japan. Well, they're not gonna die in a day, seconds when they, when they arrive in Japan, but they're gonna under influence, I think, and it's gonna be a big, one of the big reasons they're gonna get cancer later on, or COVID. At least they're gonna spread COVID variant too, which is crazy. I don't know how IOC, is it IOC or what? The Olympic something. I don't know what they are thinking about. It's for people. It's for competing healthy way for and presenting their performance to the world, but they are letting people in danger. I don't know what they are doing there. Why? Maybe because of the money, because of the power game or something. They are crooked. So I don't want to watch Olympics. Maybe some, highlights, but I don't want to watch Olympics because they while they are competing, you know they are getting poison injections or something. Same thing. Even lots of Japanese people are protesting about the Olympics, and some countries boycott the Olympics. I understand that they have to do it for protecting their own civilians, but anyway, it's crazy. Thinking and speaking quickly. When some people got gold medals, their heart rates are going high, and they got so excited. So they speak, fast, and things are spinning a lot. So they think a lot. They are saying, I don't know what to say, but they say many things, and something like that. And they try to say thanks to their families and coaches and workers and staffs, competitors. Many things they speak very fast, I think. Reckless behavior, such as overspending, because they are so excited, even though they are thinking and speaking fast, that doesn't guarantee that they are thinking right, thinking healthy way. They can make misjudgments, and they can drive faster, but they think they think they are safe, and they can manage the speed, high speed they boasting because they are hot on high. It's like people who got drugs, cocaines, and something like that. So they are very high. That's what's so called. They are very high, so they don't know what they do. So they can do something what they what they never imagined that they can do it. So they just jump over from the cliff, or they just cut their bodies and kill others and something like that. So those are reckless behavior, and they can spend lots of money with their credit cards or cash or gold bars because they are very excited. Participating in unsafe sexual activities. That's what druggers do, then, right? Druggers do. Usually they just drink and drugs and sex, cause I don't know. This is what I was told that when they have sex after drugging, they can feel extreme, pleasure or something. That can be because of the drugs mainly, apparently, but same thing, because they are so high, many condition, they think they can do whatever they want, and they can have sex with many other people without any basic safety things like what I'm talking about, and aggression, because they think they can win over UFC sportsmen or gangsters, so they just jump onto the fighting and something, and irritability, and grandiose means they think they are big guys, and they are they have lots of power and energy and knowledge and something, so they think they are superheroes or something. Unrealistic plans they make because they can do it. Okay, they can do it. The symptoms of a hypomania are the same as those for mania, but less severe and of a shorter duration. That's what I mentioned. That's bipolar. That must be close to bipolar 2, right? But what about the bipolar disorder, the depression? Okay, that's totally opposite to bipolar disorder mania. The common symptoms of depression associated with bipolar disorder include withdrawal from people and activities. So they want to just stay home because they don't have energy with, for relating with others. They are exhausted. They feel they're exhausted, and feelings of sadness and hopelessness. They think because they are at the bottom, they think there is no hope. Okay? They are sad. So in this condition, they think people usually think they are losers. Well, when they fail on some tests and exams and challenges, they can feel depression because they got depressed. But it doesn't necessarily that they think they are hopeless or useless or sadness for a long time. They can stay there, somewhere there, but they don't have, they can reach the bottom, extreme depression, but they're gonna be recovered, not, not pretty soon, but they can be recovered. But the bipolar disorder, the depression, because we are calling that is bipolar disorder, it's not happening to ordinary people, but kind of for certain people. So that's kind of disorder. Okay, it's kind of disorder. So they think they feel sadness and hopelessness, and lack of appetite and weight loss because they don't want to eat because they are sad. They feel helplessness. So there is no reason they eat good food for for having energies at all. Okay, when you are sad, you don't want to just eat a lot, right? Maybe some people do. That's good. That's for recovering. Okay, that's for making their body, move a little bit higher than the bottom. Which is good. Which is good. Chocolates and candies or ice creams and any food and a whole large pan of pizzas. It's good. It's okay. It helps. Okay, but they don't want to eat. I mean the depression, bipolar problem, disorder as depression, they don't want to eat at all. Because they don't eat, they're gonna lose their weight. So feeling anxious or guilty without reason, they don't find quite good reasons, but they just try to have certain things as reasons for feeling anxious and guilty. Okay, they just make their own reasons, but those reasons are not reasonable. And those are not acceptable. But they want to make certain things as reasons for their, because they have any reason to do something, to feel something. Okay, so they feel anxious or guilty without reasonable reason. Okay, difficulty concentrating because they got depressed, they cannot concentrate on something. When you lose your football game or something, you cannot focus on. Can you just study and read books right after you lose your football game or something? No. You need to take some time, right? So difficulty concentrating, suicidal thoughts and behavior. Because they got depressed, they think they want to die. Because they think they are useless. They don't have any hope at all. So those are the reasons that they think they're gonna just die, kill themselves, so disappear. Okay? So they can have suicidal thoughts and behavior, but usually they don't have, for the depression, depression, not in the bipolar depression, it's about the same, but depression, they go down at the bottom. They can think about the suicidal plan and something, but they usually don't practice that because they don't have any energy at all. But when they just hit the bottom and bounce back, they usually have good enough energy for killing themselves. So those suicides are happening around here, not here. Okay? So we have to be careful when they feeling a little bit better from the deep depression. We need to be careful to watch those people because they're gonna, practice suicide activities. Okay? And when people think and say they're gonna die or they are useless or they wanna just kill themselves something, and they have lots of possibilities that they can kill themselves. So they are not telling a lie. It's not asking help for something, maybe sometimes, but usually they're gonna practice that. So I have somebody who is saying, she wants to die, she wants to kill herself, something. So that is very dangerous. That is very dangerous. I just told her mom that she has to take care of her daughter closely, carefully. Okay, and she's supposed to. Her mother is supposed to watch her daughter carefully, closely, and at the same time, she is supposed to get help from counselor or psychiatrist, or sometimes police officers, because what if she is practicing and trying to kill herself? So that is very dangerous situation. Okay. All right. Sadly, and bipolar disorder, psychosis. Not only mania and depression, there can be psychosis too. People who with bipolar disorder who are experiencing an episode of mania may also have symptoms of psychosis, including delusions and hallucinations. Delusions and hallucinations, and thinking that they can see something, like somebody or any spiritual thing trying to choke her or him. It's not real, but they think someone is choking them. Okay, it's choking is not real, but they think somebody is choking, and they literally feeling. They are feeling, someone is choking, really. Okay? Or somebody is chasing them for killing or catching, so they just run. or they're just high. But because that is not real, they think the chaser's gonna find them and do something bad for them. It can be killing, it can be beating, it can be scolding, or it can be kind of, making fun of them, or it can be raping them. So they just got those hallucinations and delusions. Okay? So that is psychosis they can have from bipolar disorder. Causes of bipolar disorder. The exact cause of a bipolar disorder is not known. Contributing factors may include those. Genetics, that's sad. And brain chemicals, environmental factors, because they living near the airport, or just armies practicing field near from their place. Okay. The physical illness, because they are starving, because they don't have money, because they don't have water, because they don't have food, because they have kind of a high heat. I was told that Canada, the Vancouver, Canada has 50 Celsius. Let me check how much 50 Celsius is in Fahrenheit. 50 Celsius to Fahrenheit. That is 122 Fahrenheit. 50 Celsius. To Vancouver, Canada, and they, I think more than 500 people died because of the high heat. Vancouver. I don't think they have air conditioner, because usually they have 20 Celsius, which is I think 70 something. Okay, 70 or 60 during the summer time. I just stayed in Vancouver for 1.5 months back in, I think, more than 20 years ago, for doing something. So the temperature is great there during the summertime. So nobody wants to have an air conditioner there. They don't need it. But they got 122 Fahrenheit is pretty high. It's kind of a toasting. That's why people just lose their lives, because that is too hot. Okay? When they are living under those kind of temperature for a long time, well, it happened for, I think, weeks, and those things are happening, and lots of people are losing their lives, especially the elderly people and younger people. They are dying because of the high heat. If some people have those kind of extreme environments, they can go crazy. What if they think it's kind of a temporary thing? People know that, most people know that is a temporary thing, but they see lots of people are dying, and something like that. They can go crazy. Physical illness. Have you ever heard about the hospital depression? I don't think, lots of energetic people in hospital, who are hospitalized in the hospital for some reasons, sickness, disease, or COVID, or surgeries, and because of the accidents or sickness, illness, something like that. They all are sad, even though they are bright and outgoing people, they got kind of a big surgery and they lie on the bed in the hospital. They're gonna go depressed. They're gonna get depression in a certain amount at least. So that's what's so-called hospital depression. You just stop by hospital a couple of hours, you're not gonna have that. But when you just lie on the bed in the hospital for many days or weeks and years, you're gonna get hospital depression, right? When I used to visit a nursing home in the Orange County, California for many years, and I noticed that you can know it, right? The people in the nursing home, they got depressed because they don't have anything to do, just watching TVs on the wheelchair, on the bed, and because their bodies are kind of, weakening and dying actually, and they are waiting for the death, kind of, so they got kind of food they don't want to eat, but they have to eat for surviving their lives. That is, and people are dying. The 911 staff crews are coming back and forth, and funeral mortuary staffs are, in and out, and they have no reason to have, excitement at all. I mean, those kind of physical illness and environmental factors can be very big reasons people have bipolar disorders, especially depression, stress. When you are under, lots of stress because of the COVID, because of the financial problems, and you are looking for decent jobs but you can't find it, or you got just separated with your fiancés, girlfriends, boyfriends, and husbands and wives, and those can be big stress. Your parents got divorced or separated or hate each other or fighting every day, and those are big stress. You want to just be a better person, or you want to just have financial freedom, but you can't make it because you are getting only minimum wage every day, for 8 hours. Even though you want to just work more, you can't do that. Those are big stress, okay? Well, all people under those stresses gonna get the bipolar disorder, but some people can get bipolar disorders because, under those kind of stress. If those stress last longer, they're gonna have more chance to get bipolar disorders, or at least the depression, the mental illness. Those are happening to people. What if you have to, live in a tent on the street for a long time and just getting some minimal food from government or from the street by non-profit organizations or some Samaritans, and you're gonna get depression, right? Because you're gonna lose at least basic human dignity. What if you are enslaved for many years or for lives, and you have no hope, to be a free people? You're gonna get depression too. Okay. So those things are still happening in many places. And America is not the only exception. It's not an exception at all. So all kinds of stress and kind of cruel situations, conditions, environments here or there. So people are going crazy. People are under big stress, you know, and there are so many cases like that. Even though you are working in a Wall Street, let's say, and they can have kind of problems and struggles, you know, with their colleagues and co-workers, and they're gonna get stressed a lot too. What if your supervisor or manager or CEO or CFO don't like you? You're gonna get big stress. Well, how are you gonna overcome those things? What if that stress lasts long? Because you don't find they are not willing to, have a good relationship with you. What are you gonna do? So the poor, the rich, they all have, certain level of stress, and some people don't know how to overcome it and how to solve those problems. And so people are saying that it's stress management, but stress management is, even though they know the term of stress management, can they do that? You know how to be a successful people, but do you practice that? When people got stuck somewhere, they got stuck there. For some people, they don't know how to get out of that stuckness, because that's why we call stuck. When you got stuck on something, when you feel you are in the corner, yes, you want to find the solutions. Yes, you try some things for, escaping out from the corners and stuff. But can you make it? Some people do, but some people can't. Some people need others' help. Some people need professionals to help too. Some people need their pastor or Buddhist monk. Some people need their friends and parents. There are many sadness too. Research suggests that around 80% of the causes are genetic, and people can have a strong genetic predisposition to bipolar disorder. This means that for those people, because of the coding in their genes, certain triggers may cause symptoms of bipolar disorder to occur. Triggers may include stressors such as abuse, loss, or trauma. Sometimes bipolar disorder develops without a trigger. That is more vague, right? Oh my goodness. People don't know what's happening. One theory is that the illness might be linked to the brain. Brain chemicals like neurotransmitters, serotonin and norepinephrine. These chemicals help regulate mood. It is thought that for a person with a genetic predisposition to bipolar disorder, these chemicals may easily be thrown out of balance. Wow. So, I'm not good at the science or something, but you know what the neurotransmitters and chemicals in the brain. There are so many kinds of chemicals in the brain or in our bodies, and those things are happening. But those things are triggered because without any reason, or because of something, because of trauma or loss or something, or and then the chemicals can, be triggered by this and that, and things are happening, right? Why the onset of a bipolar disorder may be linked to stressful life events? It is unlikely that stress causes bipolar disorder. Okay? So, bipolar disorder may be linked to stressful life events, but stress causes, always bipolar disorder. Okay? People who live with bipolar disorder often find that managing and reducing stress in their lives helps to reduce their chance of triggering a relapse. Okay, so lots of doctors are saying because of the stress. Family doctors are saying because of too much stress. Even dentists, they are saying because it's too much stress. Because you have too much stress, you just chew too hard, or just grind your teeth, while you're sleeping something, so you can have dental problems too. That is true. Eye doctors can say because you are under big stress, so your eyesight is getting worse. That is true. That is true. Lots of doctors, all kinds of departments of medical hospitals, all kinds of doctors are saying because of the big stress, because of the stress. Those are right. Stress is big factor for everything. Almost mental. I mean, psychiatrists, sure, definitely they're gonna say you have a big stress. That's why you have mental disorders. Then what about what kind of treatments we have for the bipolar disorder? Bipolar disorder requires long-term treatment because it happened, and it lasts for a long time. So we are expecting, we need a lot long-term treatment. Mood stabilizing medications. Hypermania or depression, the medications can pull down the mania and a little bit pull up the depression. Antidepressant medications, the Prozac or something, and antipsychotic medications, psychological therapies, counselings, and hospitalization for appropriate treatment during acute episodes. When some people have kind of real crazy episodes often, and they are supposed to be hospitalized for helping those things. Education to help people understand and manage their condition and be more self-sufficient. Self-sufficient is kind of a main thing because people are happy in Africa or in South America, or many people are happy even though they don't have enough money. I mean, what? Enough means what? Enough is enough, right? That's what people can say. You can be happy with $100 a month. You can be sad with $1 million a month. Right? But some people are very happy with a little because they don't think it is little. It's okay. It's good enough. Or they think enough is enough. Right? So we can say people are happy no matter what, in any conditions. Not extreme conditions, but some conditions. So we need education or We don't need to deceive ourselves, but we can understand that we are having, better life and happier life or something. Community support programs to provide rehabilitation, accommodation, and employment support. Self-help groups for emotional support and understanding. Self-help groups for emotional support and understanding. Emotional support and understanding. It's not only me who has the kind of certain problems or mental disorders, or they can say, or they can see or others, or there are some other peoples can experience this kind of miserable feelings, and you can hear what other peoples are experiencing and feeling, and you can understand those people. At the same time, you can understand it too, and they're gonna understand you. Okay, so in self-support groups, you can learn many other things. Where some people have to take those kind of classes because of the court order or something, but even though they have court orders, they can have good, benefits from those self-support groups. Community support programs provide rehabilitation, accommodation, and employment support, so you can start certain jobs little by little until you feel comfortable, and you can maybe hopefully you can feel better, by some regular activities, right? So those are treatments we can expect, and by those treatments, where some treatments can work or work not, but some are not. But we can expect that we can get some better, mood and problem solving solutions, and less stress with those things, and which is great. You can get lots of benefits from those things. But the medications for mental disorders are pretty strong, and they have certain side effects. That's same to all other medicines, medications. They have a certain side effects, certain levels. So anyway, but those medications for mental disorders are pretty strong. So and sometimes feeling bad because they're very calm. They sometimes they lose their energies. But those medications are for helping those people, and later on they can get the regular and normal lives back. So which is great. So people can be healed by, recovered by just non-medication things like activities and something like that, which is great. But sometimes people need the medications too. So if you can't avoid it, you need to take those medications, and that's kind of sad, but it helps. So we all understand those things. All right, and that's about kind of the simple things for bipolar disorders. So, and then we're gonna just work on some other topics in the next week.